Hey guys, welcome to the group call. It is the 17th of March. I hope you've all had a good weekend. Apologies for last week for the guys who were waiting for the live video to be on YouTube. I had a bit of issues last week with my video mixing software. So I just did a Zoom call with a few members, and that was posted in our internal group. So hopefully from now on we won't have any issues with that. Okay, so let's have a look at what the signal charts have been doing, what the updates are for the week, and what we're going to be doing for the week ahead. So let me just deactivate this video. Okay, good stuff. So this signal chart, man, I didn't have a chance to watch it too much this morning. I was actually coding up until like 30 minutes ago. So I've been quite preoccupied with that. And if anybody wants to pop anything in the chat, you can do so on the Discord channel in the group calls. So obviously only for members. You can go to the group calls chat and you can just pop a message in there if you want to ask anything. Or I still got to work out how to do this whole multi thing with the interviewing people or taking in different people talking on the calls. But anyway, we'll get there eventually. All right, so signal chart. Wow. Okay, so I did load this up and I had it running in the background. And what I actually did is I just marked the breakout volume markers as they were left behind. And then obviously since they moved on, the price has moved on, they've actually formed new signals. But right at the beginning of the day, I don't know if you guys were watching this, and this is just a 10-10 range chart. So very fine tuned, very fine chart with using 10 ticks, like literally the price has to go up 10 ticks or down 10 ticks to form a new bar. So it's a very, very small bar size. And obviously you can do this with the DTB bars too. But for a lot of the complementary guys using some of the complementary indicators, I've given them the idea to work off the range bars. But just using the DTB system right now as it is, as we got the market opening, basically there's 6 p.m. and we can actually just look in real time what actually happened with the price. And there goes our momentum line. So immediately at just after 6 p.m. we had our momentum line facing right down. We did have a breakout marker left behind over there, and that marker is still present up until now, which is pretty cool. Price went up slightly, made a few new highs. Generally what happens is they want to suck people in, take out stops. But look at that momentum line. It's still quite a distance away from price. We had another breakout marker left behind exactly on this spot over here. Momentum line is magenta for a short while, and then change to cyan, but way away from price. So immediately from that point, especially with this breakout marker being left behind over there, a really good opportunity to enter positions. Then the price came and touched the 38.2 hourly Fibonacci levels. So and had a bounce off there, came up a little bit, came back to retest this, actually broke through it completely. Basically retested it again. Another marker left behind. Price came to the 61.8, which is the 4-hour Fibonacci level, which is also a dissected Fibonacci sequence from the 61.8 to the 100. That's why you're seeing a 0 over there. Some divergences there. Momentum line right with the price. Bars are still gold. There we had a cyan bar, which is signifying a heavily oversold. Green bars forming, price bouncing around that Fibonacci level. And at this point here, we have the momentum line. Look how amazing this momentum line is, how far it is away from price. So you saw at the top of the page how the momentum line was right below price. And now at the bottom of the page, as the price moved on to a low, it showed us a clear reversal with the momentum line very far from price, breakout markers left behind, divergences. And, that is basically what happened. Back to the 1 hour or the 4-hour Fibonacci levels. coming back to touch the 1 hour 38.2 level. And it's amazing how accurate these Fibonacci levels are in being support and resistance for price, and almost to the tick they are they're acting around those levels. That's where and the price could easily go like a little bit above, a little bit below, but these are the key levels that are in play all the time, and most people will not even have these levels on their chart. And the good thing about obviously the DTB system is you have these automatically drawn. Now, if I remember correctly, probably about 2 years ago, I did a whole video on setting up Fibonacci levels, and it literally takes at least 30 minutes to accurately plot all your Fibonacci levels for all different time frames across all different instruments. So it's at least 30 minutes, and that's just setting it up. So you've got to update those levels regularly throughout the day, and they're all changing all the time. So I don't know who the hell has time to go sit there and manually put these levels. So I bet you most people don't even have them at all, because it's just too complicated. And most people, when they're plotting them incorrectly anyway. So it's completely useless. So, whereas this is you load the indicator on the chart and those levels are plotted and updated all the time. Okay, so there we had, again, notice how the price came again, touched this Fibonacci level, bounced off a little bit, failed at the 76.4, the 5-minute Fibonacci level. And then we are right down here again. I mean, look at that amazing move down, and how all these markers and everything's just falling nicely into place. So, Sunday evening, I think is a really amazing time to actually be trading, even if it's for the first 2 hours from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Just trading this chart. If you enter some really good trades on this chart and get in 100 ticks, I mean, that's for a lot of people, that's all they'll need to do for the whole week. I mean, you got good sized trades, good sized positions. You enter trades on a Sunday evening, and if you got a full-time job during the week, then you go do that, but at least your trading is done for the week. So, I mean, that's the opportunity that this type of thing offers. Okay, cool. So that was that signal chart. I haven't looked at any of these today, but, they're going to give similar pictures of, where the price is, where these markers are. So, a really amazing thing to look through. I won't go into detail about these, but, they all really producing incredible signals. Okay, cool. So we're going to go, first of all, look at our updates for our results for last week. So we did have a contract rollover week last week. So it's a bit, the contract rollover is a crazy time. It's actually a shit fight, to put it lightly. I mean, the whole contract rollover, when it happens, how it happens, how you're trading on an old contract, and then some people are trading on a new contract. The new contract starts 200 points above or below the old contracts. It's a huge shit fight. I'll go into detail about that in the future, but it's a crazy time to actually trade, and it's very hard to get it right, especially with the automated strategies and knowing when to trade what. But anyway, we did have some good results last week. Thank you to all the guys posting over there. We had a really awesome template. So this was the template shared by Fernando. This was the SI Strategy 2. So I loaded this up, and I think this is the end of the week results. So I just loaded it up on Saturday. I just wanted to see what this template would have done for the week with those settings. So it's showing a really nice, I mean, each of these are weeks. So it's showing a really, really nice rise in equity there. And if we go to the SI chat, SI multi-filter, there, it was posted over there. So, and Bruce also posted a edited one. So that's great. But, so thanks, Fernando, for posting this. I'm sure you are going to do another one for the week ahead. But for those guys who have been using last week's one, I think last week's one is just as good. So I don't know if there's going to be a slightly better one released, but these ones, for the historical results of this strategy was extremely impressive. And the great thing about it is we have a very high percent profitable. So this is something that we've always been striving to do. And with the last update we did to the SI strategy, with adding in extra safeguards to try prevent losses, this percentage profitable has greatly increased. So I'm very excited about that. And so that is that. We're going to go to Medina Wick Trader. So I have been working on the Medina Wick Trader strategy. And what I really like about this strategy is that if you are able to manually operate it, so just like Mike did over here, he was just showing how he would enter positions, starting and pausing the strategy based on what's happening on a signal chart. So he'll be looking at a signal chart like this, and then starting and pausing. He must have like a trade copier thing, because this was traded on Sim. So a lot of people will trade on Sim on their account and then have a trade copier copying those positions. So this is what, looking at a signal chart, starting a strategy based on what you are seeing on the signal chart, at the very moment is the absolute best way to use the Medina Wick Trader strategy. Now, I am endeavoring to completely automate this whole process of having the strategy automatically start and pause based on what's happening on the chart, and I am getting there. It's just an extremely difficult endeavor. But what I have been able to do, which is really exciting, is I've finally been able to code the signal charts properly into the Medina Wick Trader. It's just that they're not working as they should at the moment. So I'm going to need at least another week on this strategy to work with the work with the code. I mean, this is some of the code for the Medina Wick Trader strategy. And I mean, it is extremely detailed when it comes to entering positions, with regards to the retracements, using different filters, the shadow indicator, using all the filters on that. So this is, I mean, it's extremely detailed and intense and needs to be thoroughly tested. It has to be tested the shit out of it. The issue I have with programming and on C# is you can make a small little mistake. It will never point it out to you, and then you'll take hours and hours and hours to find where the hell you went wrong. But that's why I'm adding also a shitload of prints. I'm putting prints freaking everywhere, because I want to know when I select a filter that is exactly working how it is. So I've been doing more prints than ever before, but still right now I have not completed this. So this is a new coding that I did earlier today. So this hasn't even released, but this is all it's all part of the strategy. It's a lot of functionality in there, so I'm working on that. But the cool thing is that once the strategy is active, it's going to happen that you click on a signal chart. Like there, I've clicked on signal chart combo 4, and it's actually going to use that signal chart. And if you click it again, it'll switch to signal chart combo 10, which is going to be another signal chart where that's all going to be coded in. And switching again, that's going to switch to 11. So I mean, this is, as you can imagine, it's quite an amazing undertaking to be able to have this on strategies. But I never imagined how much work it would be to actually code this in so that it all works properly. So I've literally spent at least 60 hours this last week on this strategy alone, and I'm still nowhere with it, really. So I mean, but the good thing is that I am definitely progressing. When I say nowhere, I mean I'm very far, but nowhere in my terms. But the amazing thing is that these are all going to be coded in beautifully, and they're going to be able to be traded very effectively. But for now, guys, if you are able to trade this strategy without using any of the filters, so basically going into the strategy settings, so just like Mike did on the in the results over there that I just shared, just starting and pausing the strategy when you see the right conditions on a signal chart that you are following. So I'll just disconnect this one for a second. Okay, so just making sure all the filters are off, like the shadow. If you could still, if you could just use with no filters at the moment, so just deactivate all the filters, which is the signal chart, combo 10, 11, 12, all of those. Just leave them off for right now, and start and pause the strategy based on what you are seeing on the signal chart. So, like earlier, if we look at the the signal chart that we saw a few minutes ago. Oh Jesus! Let me just get this out of the way. If you're looking at these signal charts and you can say, long only, short only, you can basically have the strategy only looking for positions in a certain direction by having the strategy on one chart, having a signal chart on the other. And that's just until I get to the stage of being able to completely automate this whole approach. I mean, the whole idea is to have the strategy only entering positions at the best times. So, all of these signal charts, not all of them, but some of these signal charts will be built into it and be running effectively. But at the moment, it's a hell of a job. So I just need a bit of patience from you guys, and I will get there. And we'll kick ass with it. So, like, where is that chart? Let me just see. Okay. All right, just give me a second. Come on. Wow, okay. I'm just, come on. Why is this thing being a pain in the butt? Yeah, so, at the meantime, if you can run the strategy with the signal chart off, this text shouldn't actually be here. But if you put the signal chart off, all those filters are disconnected, and then start and pause the strategy, use your specific target and stop sequence that you want to use. Obviously, your max distance, your min distance, your retracement, your delay, and all that. So keep using that, but then just manually start and pause it and choose your direction. So just for now, just until I get this 100% right. Okay, is there a question? Let's see. Excellent. Thanks, Christopher. Yes, I am doing a hell of a job. Yeah, thanks. Well, yeah, I believe so. I believe I'm going way beyond the call of duty, as they say. Personally for me, I'm very happy to trade the strategy manually because I'm in full control. But obviously, I understand that I want to, help more people, and people that don't understand what's happening on the charts, they want a more automated approach. But, the guys who have mastered this strategy by just manually starting and pausing it in real time, I mean, especially Paul Carrera, he's, obviously been one of the subscribers for many years. He trades this thing all the time using the take it and run. That take it and run template, it is absolutely fantastic. And I think he's been working closely with Mike on this, which is why Mike is having really good results using that, you see. So just like I showed you earlier, being able to look at a signal chart. I mean, if you are looking at a signal chart like this, obviously you're not going to see ahead, but, when the price is below this band and the price is below this, the jawline, this is what it's called, the jawline, that you're only going to do short trades, right? So you're looking for opportunities of where the price is coming close to the jawline, still showing a momentum, now activating the strategy and letting it only trade short. I mean, that's basically what is happening here. And and then looking at a signal chart, so looking at a trending baseline chart like this, where the price is forming these wicks, trading those wicks back to the baseline. That's basically what is happening. So starting and pausing the strategy, and as you guys know, the only thing that price can do is either form a new baseline like it did over here, or return to the baseline. So all of these wicks that you are seeing there, those wicks are basically, the price moving up and down, on that, on those bars. So, you're looking at a chart like this, a trending baseline chart, you're looking at a signal chart, and you are activating a strategy or pressing start and having that strategy trade back in the direction of the baseline. So it's a pretty awesome way to trade. And like I said, the guys who have mastered it love it. But obviously having a more automated approach will be even more beneficial. Okay, cool. So apart from that, I have done a little bit of work on the SI strategy 2, the multi-filter. And the only work I've already done there is making sure that the strategy is not trading, when you press the pause button. So if I just go and select the MNQ over here, and I think it's a 30-30 that chart was on, and I think we went from, come on, was it, I think Fernando chose 31st of December for some reason, up until today. Okay, let's give that a second to load. Okay, all right, so while that's loading, I'm just going to pull this aside. Yeah, if there's anything you guys would like me to cover on this call, just pop it in the group calls chat there on Discord. Obviously, only members can comment or chat in there because it's only available there. It's a locked channel. Okay, but we'll load up the strategy So the SI, this is the one that we've been working with, last week, and we've got the templates for. So this is the one that the template was provided by Fernando. So if I go and load this template, it was this one over here. Really good work on these templates too. I mean, I'm really impressed with how these templates have been set up. It obviously takes a while to create these templates, but thanks to the guys providing them, that is really awesome. So activating it. So the nice thing is guys can actually open up the template and let it run. Okay, so that was basically the historical results of that over the last week. So we did have a few losing days, max day losses, but looking at the overall performance of this, it's still showing as a good outlook ahead. I'll just go like this. Okay, so that's like the daily performance. So a bit low on that, but pretty decent. And this data feed showing a slightly different value. But I think it's a very nice template, this one. Like I said, maybe Fernando is going to launch a different one or an updated one with a slight adjustment. But I would be very comfortable to run this template for the week ahead. I mean, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks of data trading, 5 days a week, of this strategy. So yes, we have had a few losing positions on it and a few losing days, but I'm still pretty comfortable with this template going forward for the week. So we'll go from there. Okay, so question, what is the difference between the SI strategy and the analytical, since they both use the SI indicator? Yes. Okay, so the SI strategy and the analytical are using the same type of indicator. So if I go to the indicator list, we will see in here, let me just bring that up. Okay, so the SI indicator is this one over here. So this is the one that the analytical strategy uses, and it uses the 4 repaints. It's got a setting A, a setting B, and all that. Now the one that the SI strategy is using is the SI indicator, which is this one over here. Okay, so it's got 1, 2, 3. This is the wrong way around. It's just the order of the properties. But this one has up to 5 different signals within it. So it's got slightly more signals, the one that's used in the SI strategy, and that is to try and catch trends changing around. So, it's got that, and it's got a slightly different way how it calculates and resets. Without going into major detail on that, but it does work on a very similar concept. So you can definitely load, the normal analytical strategy and work with that. But I'm finding that the SI multi-filter strategy using this indicator, because of these calculations, we're able to get much higher percentages on our results. But either of the strategies is perfectly fine. I love them both. So there's just this one here has just got a few more levels of checks and balances in it for the strategy. Whereas if I just load up the SI, the normal analytical strategy, which is this one over here, we've got that SI filter. I'll just load the default settings in there as an example. It's just calculating slightly differently. Now, obviously, this is not optimized, but it's going to plot. So the plotting will be all fine. I mean, I didn't give you like a major smart explanation, but it just, the SI strategy is one that I've definitely worked on a lot more recently, and added in extra coding to work with the stops and targets and all that type of thing. But any of these strategies, any of the analytical strategies, any of the SI strategies, they can still be optimized greatly, which is really good. And eventually they're all going to have that signal chart button in them. So just like we have over here on the Medina Wick Trader, where you're able to select a signal chart, I'm going to add the same signal chart code to these strategies. So what will happen is, while you have optimized settings on your strategy, you'll have a button to select a signal chart, and what will happen is the strategy will still act on it'll still act on settings that have worked historically, but it's also going to make sure that it's matching the current market conditions. So that's another level of amazing that is going to be you guys are going to have reasonably soon. Okay. So Jason, on Show Me the Money, what is the best way to tell the direction the breakout markers are left behind? Okay. So with that, with the breakout markers, I always look at the previous arrows that were linked to the previous arrows that exist. So if you are seeing a breakout marker left behind, so like this first one over here, or even going back over here, even going back earlier, you're looking at the arrow that was facing down. So like over here, you're starting to look, okay, I'm looking for a short. So you're waiting for a breakout marker to be left behind, and the last arrow is showing there. Now with this one over here, it basically turned around and went up. So it went up, retested that breakout marker, and now we've got arrows facing down. So the very next signal you will take from here is basically the arrows left down. And until a different signal actually breaks that whole momentum, so this type of these arrows over here with the short reversal of the 1 hour 38.2, that is something you would watch out for, but you would only trade in the direction, you'll only trade, the signal from above, where that was the strong one. This was a small divergence to take out stops, because that's what they're doing. They're never going to run the price, or when I say never, they're very rarely going to run the price straight down and straight up. That's definitely not what they're going to do. So they're always going to enter positions. They're going to provide their signals, which they did, and they're going to take out people's stops, because people always have a 10, 20, 30 trading stop, get screwed out, taken out the positions. But their initial drive was to push this price down, which is the momentum line did. So always in the prevailing strongest signal, which was the one on top here. Remember, you got gold bars forming. So anytime you have gold bars and you have price bouncing off momentum, off these breakout markers, they're generally not as strong. So same over here, you've got arrows facing up, you've got the breakout marker left behind, but you still got your gold bars and you have a marker left behind. So in this case, you would definitely stick with this original signal over here to go short, because every attempt, including this one over here and this one over here, at this point here, you are going to know that this is still the prevailing signal coming down, and then this one is a continuation of it. So remember, you have continuation signals too, which is what these markers also give you. And then obviously, as you have the price come around, you have the next one is your prevailing signal over here. So you have your prevailing signal over here with your divergences, and then you have a breakout marker left behind over here. So then this will be your prevailing signal. Now, obviously, trading into a fib level, you might want to be mindful of that. Bring your stop a bit closer, but not too close. And then again, you have a situation where these divergences and things, the bars are still green. You've got a beautiful option, a beautiful signal over here was this breakout marker being left behind. So, and then, getting broken or getting left behind and then bouncing up, still staying green. So then you know that this is your prevailing signal to still work with. And it just basically carries on like that, until you actually have a situation where the Fibonacci levels come into play. So this is why it's such a good idea to have these Fibonacci levels on the chart, because they are going to tell you where the key institutional support and resistance levels are. Okay, and most of the time they are going to work. Now, if you really want to get into the Fibonacci levels, you can also, I'm going to just duplicate this on a new tab, and I'm going to bring that over here, and I'm going to make this a what's that, MNQ? NQ. Okay, so I'm going to make this the ES. Okay, so now this is going to bring up the ES chart with its Fibonacci levels, with its support and resistance. So a very cool thing to do. Now, I haven't loaded this up yet, but I'm pretty sure, or more than likely, based on the history of working with Fibonacci levels for so many years, is you're going to have basically a match up of Fibonacci levels that are supporting each other. So like you had over there, you had the NQ levels over there. I'm not sure what this is going to be in real time, but we'll soon find out. We're going to see where these Fibonacci levels are. Okay, so there we had a 61.8. So you see over there, we had the price come, there's the 61.8, the 1 hour, which is also amazing. Any single chart you load up these Fibonacci levels on, and this signal chart. Now, 10 range is maybe a little bit big for the ES at this time of day, but you are still having the situation of strong Fibonacci levels. So if you got strong Fibonacci levels on the ES, and then you are also having Fibonacci levels on the NQ, then they are extra strong. I mean, they are really extra strong because there's correlation between instruments, you see. So, look at that. Look where price currently is between different instruments, and you will see, this is just a 5-minute bounce over here. So it's still a good signal. I mean, it's still a good signal because it's a 5-minute bounce off the 76.4. There's a lot of markers left behind on this chart because this is a 10 range chart. I mean, with the ES and MES, you can really switch down to a much, much smaller chart, especially for the Asian session. So even like a 5 range chart will be great. And then you just have to adjust your, your shutter trading values down to match that, because obviously we had it a bit higher. But even just having a smaller tick chart, I mean, there are very, very, very few people or companies who offer indicators for very small charts. They're normally looking at daily charts, 15 minutes, 5 minutes. To get this accurate, to pinpoint accuracy on a 5 range chart is out of this world, actually. And it just speaks to the, the quality of these tools. So let me just jump in. So I'm going to just switch this to like a 10. Now, there's no hard and fast rule of exactly what specific values you have in here, but I normally have the shadow trading and the trend following not too far away from the size of the bar. So 5 is, I would go 10, okay? But you can even go 7 or 8 on that. Which is fine, but this is going to give you a slightly broader picture on a smaller chart. Now you can see there's not a hell of a lot of market action on the ES today yet, but obviously that's going to pick up for the US session. Let's have a look at this. So I mean, there we got some breakout markers left behind. Over here we had one obviously at 8 p.m. So 8 p.m. on the 76.4 cyan bar, marker left behind. Okay, the price has only moved up 5, 10, 15 ticks. But I mean, if you're trading the ES and you're trading a few contracts, it's $12.50 a tick, so 10 ticks is, $125. So you do that with a few contracts, it's a good return. So this is what you're looking for. You're looking for different, values between Fibonacci levels between different charts, and definitely I believe look at the predominant last signal and work with that one until that changes, and the momentum line is going to be a big guide for that too. Okay, but sometimes you could mess this up. Sometimes you could enter trades and it bounces around like sometimes you could enter long and be stopped out, enter short, be stopped out, enter long, and you're just having a bad day. I've had days where I've completely shitted myself on this damn chart and I've lost money, but then I wasn't in the right frame of mind. So you've got to have, the right frame of mind when you're trading this. You've got to have the right expectancy, follow the prevailing signals, and not be tied to the results and any specific direction. Because remember, they're going to keep bouncing this around and screwing with people. Cool. I think that is it over there. But yeah, I encourage you guys just to continue looking at these charts. If you want to see, if you want to work with, obviously during the US session, you want to go with a much larger chart. Like, obviously the DTB bars is definitely the way to go. But, going for like a 30-30 during the US session, is more than sufficient to work with, because remember the price has to move 60 ticks to form a new bar from its start. So there, you're going to have signals produced and following those. So obviously sometimes looking at the much smaller chart, you can have a lot more swings and things. But these breakout markers are your definite guide to kicking ass in the markets. Okay, yeah, so guys, please have patience with me with regards to the Medina Wig Trader. It is a absolutely phenomenal strategy, and I definitely encourage you guys to manually trade this. I mean, don't use, like I said, don't use the signal charts, just use it without the signal charts. Start and pause the strategy, depending on what you're seeing on the signal charts. Set up your, your stops and targets, how you normally trade it. Follow what Mike is doing, what Paul is doing. Look at that take it and run signal chart document. It explains exactly when to start the strategy, when to stop it, and before long you'll be killing it. All right, thank you guys for jumping on the call. Hang on one second. Where's this thing? There we go. Thanks for jumping on, guys. We will keep in touch with the Discord channel, because there's going to obviously be announcements in there. I'll check if Fernando's going to post a new template. If not, just run with the existing template. I'm not going to be working on game plans for the week ahead, because we've also got Christopher working with the baseline wig trader. So work with his templates, work with the SI strategy, and between those, I think you guys are going to be very well kept busy for the week ahead. So Christopher is just popping a quick message. Let me just see what he's saying. So Christopher, again, thank you so much for all that you're doing with the baseline wig trader. I mean, those templates are really good. They producing good results for you too, which is nice. Obviously, not every single day is going to be perfect, but that's what trading is. It's a numbers probability game, and we're just trying to put the odds in our favor. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. Certainly not a forex scam. I'm going to make a video about the scam that is forex, but I'll probably leave that for another day way in the future. But oh my God, am I seeing so many adverts and Facebook sponsored posts for forex trading? Oh my God. And I wish people could see through the bullshit and understand that, futures trading is professional trading, and forex trading is gambling and a scam. Probably too much said for this moment. Okay, guys, chat later and have a good one. Cheers.